Where we move on, in a sudden move, Bangladesh has imposed a ban on Rohingya from using their mobile phones. Telecommunication companies have been restricted from selling mobile phone connections to Rohingya, citing security reasons. The companies, at least 4 of them, have been threatened with fines if they violate the ban. Bangladesh Telecom Authority has said that the ban could be lifted once biometric identity cards are issued to the newly arrived refugees. However, that process could take 6 months. Meanwhile, United Nations Human Rights Chief met with Rohingya in the Bangladesh camp. After the meeting, he said that their suffering would last far longer than the time it took to satisfy their basic needs. More than 420,000 Rohingya have fled to Bangladesh in the recent spate of violence in the Rakhine state from Myanmar.
I was really struck by the fear that these people carry with themselves of what they have gone through and seen back in Myanmar. Parents killed, families divided, wounds inflicted, rapes perpetrated on women. There's a lot of terrible violence that has occurred, and it will take a long time for people to heal their wounds, longer than satisfying their basic needs, I think.
All right, let's get in WION's Bangladesh Bureau Chief Saad Hamadi. He's live from Dhaka with us. Saad, what is happening? On the one hand, you have the UNHRC chief meeting the Rohingya, and we also see a crackdown of sorts on Rohingyas. They've been given refuge in Bangladesh for sure, but have been restricted from now using phones. Saad, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you repeat the question again, please?
Saad, my question to you is, as far as the Rohingya are concerned, the latest is that they've been barred from having mobile phone connections. Could you explain Dhaka's stand on that, and also the latest coming in, the statement of the UNHRC chief?
There are quite a few issues here besides barring the Rohingya community from having access to mobile phones and the SIM card facilities to be able to communicate, which is more of a security concern. There's a food shortage that Bangladesh is facing because of the flooding that has taken place across the country, in which almost 60 million people have been affected. There's also the crisis of health in the Rohingya camps, particularly in the southern borders, because of this large influx who have come through, and there is a lack of sanitation in those areas. That has given that fear of health crisis and the health epidemic happening as a result. And with that, there is the internal and external security threats that we are getting to hear. Just today, the police has recovered a body of a Hindu refugee who has come from Myanmar.
All right.
From Myanmar to Bangladesh, and out of which there is one person found dead. So these are all the concerns that Bangladesh is dealing with right now.
Well, Saad, also very quickly, if you can, give us an indication of what Sheikh Hasina's government is planning as far as the Rohingya are concerned in the country. Will the restrictions be further, ramped up?
There's every possibility that the restrictions will be ramped up, but that will depend on the kind of security threat that Bangladesh apprehends from this community. Because it's not the people in general, but there is that section of the Rohingya insurgents that may have the last 1 month or less than 1 month. That will take effect as the Bangladesh authorities goes on and proceeds to check with their identification. The government has already launched a biometric registration for these Rohingya people who are in the camp. That will help the government to understand and to keep track of these people who are staying in those camps and be confined to that area particularly. So that is a matter of time to see how it unfolds.
Thanks so much for reporting on this. Saad Hamadi there joining us live from Dhaka. Well, now Delhi is home to refugees from every part of South Asia. The Rohingya may be the most recent. WION visited a camp in Kalindi Kunj area packed with at least 300 Rohingya who say they came here 5 years ago.
Delhi is home to almost 1,000 Rohingya refugees staying in places like Kalindi Kunj, Bodela, Shaheen Bagh. When we arrived at the Kalindi Kunj camp, the children innocently informed us that they have been told not to interact with the media. If they did, they would be sent back to Myanmar. We probed further, asking them who told them so. Was it their parents? They answered no. The caution, the reluctance to talk to media is new. The refugees were very open not long ago, describing in detail their plight, the poor living conditions. Many recalled their journey to India. A foreign land to them, it wasn't easy.
Burma, Bangladesh border था 20 में समंदर है, उसमें नाव है होता है समंदर का ऊपर से चलता नाव, और नाव से मैंने कुछ पैसा देके बांग्लादेश पार हुआ. उसका बाद में बांग्लादेश से होके बांग्लादेश में दो रात का बाद में फिलहाल इसका पहले भी रोहिंग्या हमारा मुसलमान यहाँ था और उससे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करके बात करके मैंने यहाँ कलकत्ता से पार हुआ.
It wasn't clear if they were brought here or by whom. In fact, their replies seemed tutored, and it appeared only a few persons in the camp were authorized to speak. All of them said much the same thing.
यहाँ रहने का भी परेशानी है, पानी का भी परेशानी है. यहाँ हम 5 साल से रह रहे हैं, बहुत मुश्किल से हम गुजारा कर रहे हैं.
ये मेहनत मजदूरी थोड़ा बहुत कर लेते थे, लेकिन ये कुछ नेगेटिव रिपोर्ट्स मीडिया में आने लगी हैं, तो उसके बाद इन लोगों को जो है मजदूरी मिलना भी मुश्किल हो रहा है.
From the outside, the camp is like scores of other slum areas in Delhi. The shelters are makeshift with plastic sheets.
तमाम NGO, तमाम लोग मिलके ये कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि ये जिंदा रह सकें. इनको जिंदा रहने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. जो है बाकी चीज़ें तो बात की हैं, कम से कम जो है जिंदा रहने के लिए इनको अब मजदूरी नहीं मिल रही है.
But even in these wretched conditions, the camp seems to have its own football club. There were posters of some of the refugees with Bollywood celebrity John Abraham. Some of the refugees held cards given by the UN High Commissioner for Refugees. Others had ration cards, although they were reluctant to show them. It wasn't clear if they held Aadhaar cards. The question is, how did they come to Delhi? Who guided them? More important, how did they pay for their journey when it seems most of them came with nothing but the clothes on their backs? Bureau Report, WION.